Shalom. This is Yahawah with the GMS Dallas camp. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutations to the outcamps scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, keeping this truth and sincerity. I just want to make a quick video, going into 2 Peter chapter 1, starting at verse 5, and I'm going to start off, and beside this, giving all diligent, Salakia, verse 4. Actually, I'll just start from the top. Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yahawashi, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of Yahawah and our Savior Yahawashi. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of Yahawah and of Yahawashi our Lord, according as his divine power had given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, to the knowledge of him that had called us to glory and virtue. We were given this word, for a reason, and the Most High, picked certain men, he put that spirit in them to be able to preach this word, in truth. You got a lot of people out there that really just go around and pretty much manipulating this word, to their advantage, if that makes any sense. Like these other guys, some use it, some use this word, to get money, and other reasons, and as for the people that were given that power, that understanding, like it says in the first verse, to them that have obtained like precious faith, the ones that really truly believe in this word, and not those people that pretend like they believe in it. Let me turn this off real quick. Yeah, like these people that really don't have that faith, they're just putting up a front, so to speak. It's all like those IUIC guys, like Nathaniel, Nate. He took off that garment, this wisdom, and put in front, and pretty much sold out, But it was only given, that faith was only given to a certain group of men, the elect, the saints, who are going to save this world, through Yahawashi, through Yahawah, Verse 3. According as his divine power hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him that had called us to glory and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, the promise, the kingdom, everything that comes along with it, putting these fucking Edomites under our foot, all those promises that the Most High, promised us, for lack of a better term, all those things, that by these ye might be partakers of divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. So he promised all these things, that through them we, will be have a part of this, be motivated pretty much, for this to preach this word out in the highways and byways, to do lessons, right? To read, study these scriptures, that by these you might be partakers of divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust, because at the end of the day, committing ourselves to this word, is the only way to escape the corruption that's in this world right now, The only real consolation we have is the Comforter, and the Akyam, you know, because anything else besides that is corruption, you know. And there's a lot of things in this world that really just they're really pretty much meant for your own destruction, you know, from cell phones to video games, you know, to movies, to sports, you know, watching sports, whatever it might be, sex, you know, all these things are the corruption in the world, the lust in the world that is corruption, you know. Verse 5, and beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge. Okay? Actually, I'm going to read that again. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge. You know, what does diligence mean? It means to pretty much be sincere. You know, well, actually, here, let me look up that word real quick so we can get I don't want to... With haste, you know, earnestness, diligence, earnest and accomplished, promoting or striving after anything, to give all diligence, interest in oneself, most, you know, earnestness, you know, pretty much putting your whole mindset in that, you know, making it your top priority, you know. It's you know, this word should be something important to you, you know, something that you think about every day, you know, something that you really want to do. Even though you're in the flesh, you know, you might be tired. You're like, you know, there might be some times where you're like kind of feeling, you know, faint. But you know, at the end of the day, you're still gonna push this word. You know, you ain't gonna, you ain't gonna fall off just because some shit happened to you. You know, you're gonna have that diligence. You know, and let's continue on here. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, you know, and that, you know, adding that that good morale pretty much to your faith, which I think that's what it means. Not here, let me look it up. A virus course of thought, feeling, and action, virtue, moral goodness, you know, adding that virtue to your faith, you know, which is really important, you know, when it comes to building faith, you know, and to virtue knowledge. Okay, and you know, for example, like where it says and to virtue, you know, and to virtue knowledge, you know, you can't just be like, for example, you have these church people, right? You know, they act so-called virtuous, you know, they supposedly think doing a good deed and loving everybody is a good thing, you know. And that's their virtue, right? But not according to knowledge, you know, not according to these scriptures, not according to this wisdom, right? Because the scriptures don't say to love everybody, you know. So they're not adding that knowledge to virtue, you know. That's a lot of things that a lot of people really don't understand when it comes to this word. You know, you got to really just read and look up these words to see what they, you know, what these scriptures is really talking about. You know, you can't just read a whole chapter and, you know, think you got it. You know, you got to look up words. You know, go to other books. You know, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You know, but you know, like it says in Romans chapter 10, I believe it's chapter 10. You know, they have zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. You know, verse 6, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, right? And I forgot what that word temperance means. Self-control, the virtue of one masters his desires and passions, his sensual appetites, right? You know, pretty much having that self-control to overcome this world. You know, like we read in the earlier verse where it says, you know, having escaped verse 4, you know, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust, you know, because there's a lot of things we got to really, you know, have self-control over, you know. You know, there's a lot of brothers, you know, that might have things that they need to overcome, you know, like and a lot of people that are coming into this thing, you know, or when you first were coming into this thing, there was, I'm sure there was a lot of brothers, you know, that quit, you know, smoking weed or you know, just pretty much partying every day or going to clubs or whatever it might be, you know. As for me, you know, I had a real tough time when I was, you know, first starting to come out there. You know, I had a real tough time, you know, quitting smoking. You know, and that's something that was really difficult, you know, to overcome, because that was, you know, my lust in the world, you know, smoking every day, smoking every few hours, whatever it was, you know. But you know, having that temperance, you know, as well get you through, you know, to overcome that lust, you know, having that, you know, having that faith that you really believe in this thing and thinking, man, I gotta put this shit, you know, I gotta put this shit to the side and have diligence, you know, towards this word, you know. And a lot of people take this word, you know, and for example, you know, they'll go to church every Sunday or something, you know, thinking, as long as I go to Sunday, you know, go to Sunday school or whatever it's called, you know, as long as I go and ask Jesus Christ to forgive me, I'm good, you know, and then I can go back to do whatever I was, you know, all the whatever wicked shit I was doing before and do it, and then come back, you know, ask for forgiveness, and I'm good, you know. And that's not, you know, that's not how things work, you know. That's not how things shouldn't work according to this word, you know. Or like Peter said, you know, like not using, you know, roughly paraphrasing, not using that excuse, you know, for a cloak of maliciousness, you know. Not just because we have grace doesn't mean you can just go off and do whatever the hell you want, you know. You know, we gotta rehearse the righteous acts. We gotta follow the law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, you know, according to this word. You know, not, you know, and I keep saying that because, you know, I'm not just going off by my own opinion. You know, I'm not gonna do or say whatever I think is right or whatever I feel, you know, because according to the scriptures, again, you know, it's you know, that's wicked, that's going off, you know. Let this word be, let these scriptures be your guideline, you know. And Salaki, if I was kind of hitting a bunch of different points, but you know, that's just something that kind of came to my mind, you know. Hopefully this was edifying at a certain degree, you know. Yeah, and with that, Shalom.